People understand now that I'm not a dumb blonde. I'm just very good at pretending to be one.
When I think of Paris Hilton, I'm always thinking of somebody who doesn't give a shit about the rules.
Troubled teens facilities. And over 350 children have died in these places, being abused there physically, verbally, emotionally. Nothing has really been done about it.
You're like a superhero almost.
He asked me to marry him. I wasn't ready for love. Been through so much, built this whole wall around my heart.
Being on stage is a little scary. Not seeing anybody's face. It just looked like this. Who are you filming for?
Internet, bro.
You were recording the whole time. You weren't there. Hey, what's up, people? Listen, I'm so excited because today we have a very, very special guest on the Road podcast. I'm Jason Derulo. That's Sincere Show. And today we have one of the most famous, most iconic women on the face of the planet, Paris Hilton. Hey,
Paris Hilton is in the
Hello.
building. The legendary, right?
Thank you.
The original influencer.
The
is
OG.
What the OG, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm really excited because I wanted to dive into something that I've always was interested about is your upbringing. Because I'm not sure that everybody is aware of how you grew up. So I read that you spent a lot of time living in a hotel in New York.
Yes.
What was that like?
That was amazing. It was like being little Eloise's, my sister and I. We lived at the Waldorf Astoria, and it was just so much fun running around the hotel, and we would like sneak into the events late at night, and there would just be like all the presidents would come and stay there, and it was just something exciting happening at all times. And the one part was hard was sneaking out of there because my parents obviously knew everything that was happening, and the security and the concierge would tell on us. So I had to think of sneaky ways, but it was just so much fun growing up in a hotel. I love the Waldorf.
And having siblings, like who are like the responsible ones, who are like the rebels of the crew, like who was who?
Well, I was definitely the rebel, and my sister was the more responsible one. It just was always like that growing up. She, even though as my little sister, acts like my big sister, which is good.
So like being a rebel, do you feel like that is what made you the woman you are today? Because a lot of the times, like, it's always the kid who's like, well, what are they doing? Oh no, they're crazy. They always in trouble. They always in, and then they end up being the more successful one or the more just driven person. You feel like your upbringing made that happen for you?
I think definitely with my ADHD, that was something that made me be impulsive and take risks and just have so much energy and just always want to be out, and I don't know, just not focusing in school as much. But I think it definitely made me the creative person that I am today. And I feel like all the rebellious things that I've done in my life have made me the strong woman that I am today.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I mean, because anytime that you're able to color outside the lines like you do, it forms some sort of leadership, and people want to follow somebody that's a leader. You know, when I think of Paris Hilton, I'm always thinking of somebody who just doesn't give a shit about the rules. It's just like, if I think this is good, I'm gonna go with this and fuck what everybody else says. And I think there's a lot of people that look up to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes. I watched your documentary because I really wanted to like get a deep dive into what we should be talking about today. And one thing that stood out a lot was like when you were a child, you were a tomboy, which I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't expect from you, being like this beautiful, glamorous, really a supermodel. When I was younger and I seen you, I'm like, oh, she's a model. She's a right. Yeah. And then also being like very into animals and stuff. Like your father would take you to the zoo a lot and things like that. You would have these little pets around. Are you still like that? Are you still very much a tomboy? Are you still very much into pets and animals? Like what is your thing now, or have you just grown into this woman we see today?
Yeah, I've always been a tomboy. I always will be at heart. I think people are used to seeing me obviously at the red carpet and events where I have to dress up, but when I'm just at home chilling, I'm just like in sweatsuits, socks. I love being with all my puppies and my pets, and I am like a homebody. Like a lot of people I don't think would realize that as well, because I for my job, have to go out and have that persona. But in real life, I'm kind of just like a tomboy who likes to chill at home.
That's a beautiful thing. Well, thank you for inviting us to your beautiful home. I've been here a couple times for some nice parties, and
Yes.
you always invite me. So tell us a little bit about your husband, because when you look online, it says that he's an author, but I know him, and I know him for being a very successful man as well. And I don't think people know the depth of his success. So can you tell us a little bit about who he is?
Thank you. Carter is incredible. I'm so grateful to have met him. He's so kind and smart, and he's brilliant at what he does. And he is the founder of M13, which is one of the largest VC funds. And they invest in everything from tech to future, and just some really incredible projects. And yeah, and he wrote a book, which is a New York Times bestseller as well, Shortcut for Your Startup, which is basically telling people how to create their own businesses as well.
Get that money. You know what I'm saying?
And
Yeah.
the nicest guy in the world. Every
you.
time I meet Carter, he's like, "Is there anything that I could be helping you with?" And I'm like, "Nah, not really, but let me think on that, because I know there's probably something that you can help me with, Carter." But I love the fact that you guys are so into health and so into wellness and longevity. Here at the house, you guys have a ton of longevity machines, like the hyperbaric chamber and the cryo.
Yes.
How long have you guys been into the health, the wellness kind of kick?
I've always been into wellness and longevity and anti-aging. It's something that I've just always researched. I've always done for many years, and learning how to biohack. And then ever since I've been with Carter, it's taken it to the next level, because with him being a venture capitalist, he's constantly hearing about new innovations and what's the latest happening. And I've learned more than ever. And now we've built the spa downstairs called the Living Spa. And we have everything. The cryo belt, which is the best cryotherapy machine. We have a 4-person hyperbaric chamber, which is the #1 thing for anti-aging. And
4 people can get in it?
4 people, yeah.
Wow.
And you can there's flat screens on either side. It looks like a spaceship, and it's wrapped by the same people who did my holographic Slivmobile outside.
Yeah.
We had them wrap up both the hyperbaric and the cryo, and then we have basically every type of machine you can imagine for facials, from the hydrofacial, NeuroTrist, the Icon, basically all of it.
Well, you look great. So
I was gonna say
It's working.
it's definitely working.
Thank you.
Because I mean, you're not old, but you do look exceptionally young, just
Thank
like
you.
the same girl from 20 years ago, right? It's crazy. Another thing I noticed was how big your ring is. It's actually quite ridiculous,
Thank
you know what I'm saying? But beautiful at the same time, that is crazy right there. What you want to talk about that a little bit? You want to give us a little?
Thank you. Carter got this for me, obviously. And yeah, I was so excited when I got it. He asked me to marry him on Richard Branson has this island called Necker Island, and he
It's
rented
rich people
it
talk,
out.
y'all. Make sure y'all pay attention. It's rich people talk. Go ahead, Richard Branson Island.
So he rented it out for
That's
our
right.
birthdays, and it was a surprise. And he was on the beach, and then he opened the box, and this giant sparkly diamond. I was immediately like, yes.
Now, was the box the size of a bowl? That's what I want to know. Because
It's a nice size.
he opened the box. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Thank
Yeah, it's
you.
it's like a fairy tale. Very fitting for a princess. You got
Thank
the
you.
princess dress on right now, and you get your Prince Charming.
Yeah.
Obviously your dating history has been documented throughout your years on the internet. What's made him stand out from previous relationships you've been in?
Oh my goodness. He is the opposite of anyone I've ever met or been with. I've had a lot of toxic relationships. I think it's really hard in LA to trust people, and I think also just before I was just so going out in the club scene, that's just not a place to meet someone. And I wasn't ready for love. I think I had also been through so much, and I had really built this whole just like wall around my heart, and I didn't literally let anyone in. And I think the timing is everything. And what I love about Carter is that he has the biggest heart of anyone I've ever met. He's so down to earth. He doesn't care about any of the fame or red carpets or photos. Like I have to like beg him to like come and to do things, because he just is the type that's like, I stay behind the scenes and I want to watch you shine.
That's right.
And he lifts me up and supports me in ways that I've never have been in my life. And the one thing that's most important to me is loyalty, and he's so loyal, and that is priceless to me. And he's so funny and kind, and just he's like an angel. Like I feel that God
I'm
sent me
falling
this
in love
guy.
with Carter myself.
You'll love him. He's a good egg. Which is what we call it.
That's beautiful. I want to talk about social media, because social media, I feel like, has continued to grow, has continued to change and morph. But you were at the forefront of just letting people into your life, into your space. And I think that's what was it was kind of like the start of everything, right? When you and Nicole did your show, which Nicole and I share a birthday, by the way.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, September 21st.
Yes, Virgos.
When you guys did that show, I think it was the first time we were invited into someone's life at that depth, and it just kind of it snowballed after that, and then we saw the next one and the next one, and then the social media started to happening. But you were just at the forefront. Do you feel like you were the one to do it, to start it all? Because I definitely feel that way.
Yeah, definitely. Nicole and I really started something that was the first of its kind, and now has inspired so many others, and being the OGs of reality TV. And when we first started, we had no idea what we were signing ourselves up for, because this was the first time anyone had ever done anything like it. And it's just amazing now just to see what it is now turned into. And now with social media and everything, it's just taking it all to the next level.
And when those cameras were following you around at the time, I mean, this was never done before. Did you guys feel like it was too much ever? Did you feel like the cameras were capturing you in the right way? Do you think that they were twisting the stories around? How do you feel?
Well, Nicole and I just were being ourselves. So we always had so much fun, no matter where we were. We would always have the best time together, always laughing. Mm-hmm. And we were filmed 24 hours a day. So from the moment we woke up till we went to bed, there was always a camera with us. And they wanted it to be really real. So they would just tell us, and the camera people, like if they ask for anything, they ask for a phone, just don't answer them. So if we would ask for anything, the camera people would have to act like we weren't talking to them. Like they had to act like they weren't really there. So it was, we just learned to do it for ourselves, and we had a great time with it. It was so much fun.
I think what was more sensational about it for me was just knowing like people that grow up with a lot of money and access to wealth are very private, right? Like they don't really show that side of their lives at all. So for you guys to do that, obviously with a last name like Hilton and a last name like Richie, we grew up in the tabloid era where we're like, okay, well, what is this person doing? It was like, what is this person doing? And then y'all like, look, we're going to turn these cameras on, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to show y'all something a little bit different. And then, you guys are like doing these weird missions, these little like, well, let's go over here and to this house. And we have to clean up. We got to. And I know a lot of it was scripted to a certain degree, because we learned later that, no, actually, Paris is highly intellectual. She's, obviously into fashion. She's using this voice that we get the real voice today, right? Yeah. So it's like, when you're doing that, are you knowing like the impact that you would have at that time and what it would become now, or was it just like a young girl just having fun, like, oh, I don't care, or did you really think that this would be the culmination of it all?
Well, before we started shooting, the producers basically told us, Paris, we want you to play the blonde airhead, and Nicole, you'd be the troublemaker. So we knew that's what we were going to be doing the entire time. We didn't know that we'd have to continue that on season after season for 5 seasons. So I think that, definitely people assumed that that's how we really were in real life. But we were just having fun and playing into the characters. But yeah, I think people understand now that I'm not a dumb blonde. I'm just very good at pretending to be one.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely.
I think Marilyn Monroe, she was the first ever so-called dumb blonde, but she was actually very smart too. Had a lot of business acumen, and obviously she went on to have a successful movie career. But I think that you took a little bit of that and was like, hey, let's make this happen. And now
Definitely.
you are, multi-millionaire on your own without having to obviously, do hotels like your family has done. You've created an empire, which is a testament to just beautiful blonde women all over the world. I think you showed them, hey, we could do more than just be, I don't want bimbo, which is the way people perceived them at that time. So I just want to say kudos to that. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, Marilyn has always been an inspiration. I love her so
Marilyn.
much. She's iconic.
Super. I'm curious about what happens in a royal family, kind of, so to speak, like this one. Because your great grandfather founded Hilton hotels, and then what happened after your great grandfather? Was things passed on to your grandfather, and then so on and so forth?
My great grandfather Conrad Hilton started the hotels, and then my grandfather Baron took over for him.
And what about the other siblings though? Like, how does that work exactly? Does everybody share like a piece? Because at this point, how family trees work, right? I mean, it had to have spread a ton. Did it fall like right in line with your family? Like, how did it happen exactly?
Well, my grandfather started it. He has 8 children, and then he passed away, and the family's not involved at the hotels. I work with Hilton now. I'm the face of it, and I do all their commercials and ad campaigns.
Beautiful.
So that's fun to carry on my family's legacy, and I know that my grandfather would be so proud because he obviously had such a love for this brand, and now to see me being such a big part of it, I know that he is up there just so proud of me. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I grew up in going to the Hiltons, and I mean, still now to this day. So, yeah, he built a wonderful brand, and to have somebody like you being the face of it, I think he's very, very proud of that.
Thank you.
For sure.
But you started your own hotel chain. Am I correct? So how is that doing, and are you trying to expand it, be more into hospitality, or just more so just the hotel aspect of it?
Yeah, I opened properties in the Philippines, and now we are getting ready to have my own boutique hotels, which will be in the U.S., like Los Angeles, Vegas, New York, Miami.
Okay. So you trying to are you really, is that something that you feel you have to do, or you really just want to do that? And also elaborate on just like hospitality in general, because before we started, we were talking about nightclubs and stuff like that. Or were you thinking about possibly querying back into that world and, hotels, nightlife, restaurants, this sort of thing?
Definitely. I've always loved real estate. I've always loved traveling and properties and design. And obviously it's something that runs in my blood, and I would love to follow my family's footsteps. And I feel that I've created such a worldwide brand where I'm able to do something like that. So this is a dream come true for me. And of course, I would love to get involved in having nightclubs and restaurants and all of that in the properties. So excited to partner with some of my faves.
Being in Los Angeles in 2024 compared to being in Los Angeles in 2009, 2010, it's like a totally different world.
Yeah.
What do you think happened to the nightlife? This question is actually for the both of you, because I don't know if everybody on knows, but Sincere is a big nightlife guru here in Los Angeles and around the world, but Los Angeles specifically. What the hell happened to the nightclub.
Paris didn't know.
I made the nightclubs.
Yeah, you did. But damn, like
You knew it was a good party if I was there.
For sure.
Oh, that's for sure. I knew it was.
And once
it
she
was
stopped
upscale.
going, we was like, "There's no more good parties." And,
Exactly.
no. So what I think happened, one is social media. Social media made it to where you don't even have to go to the party.
But how so?
Well, you could watch the party on someone's page and be like, "Well, I know what happened. I don't, you had to be there, right?" There was a time when I first moved to Los Angeles, it was 2008. So at that time,
So much fun that year.
it was like lit back then. You know
Insane.
what I'm saying? Even a few years. I remember going into a club. I'm 18 years old. I have my fake ID. I'm going into the club, and there would be like celebrities all over, and they kind of had nothing to worry about, right? It wasn't people on their phones filming them doing something. Everybody had a sense of privacy, and there was a certain level of respect, and the celebrity was still the celebrity. I think what happened with social media, it took away a bit of the celebrity. It made it people a little too accessible. There was a time when I was, doing big parties with Drake and Rihanna, and you had to know sincere to get in these parties. You couldn't just like DM Paris Hilton and be like, "Hey, come, I'm going out with you tonight," right? And now I think a lot of the celebrities took the mystique away, and the closeness with the fans is too much. So I think that because Hollywood and specifically, the club was about the celebrity or the it girl and these certain people being there, and you're like, "Oh, I can't get in there because such and such is there." You had to be hot. You had to be top baller. You had to be. Now it's like they just trying to get people to the club now. It's whoever, whenever, wherever, and it just kind of watered down the party. The price too, you used to could just pull up to the club, $100 and have a good time. Now, if you don't got
a table,
if you don't got a table, my boy, you're finished.
I think that's one of the things that killed nightlife as well. Like obviously the iPhone, social media, celebrities don't feel as comfortable to be able to be out without everything being, online the next day. And also the bottle service, I think before, like if you were just cool, you would get in and it would just be so exclusive. It would only be great people. You knew everyone. No one had a phone out. No one cared about that. But then as soon as they started selling the tables and all that, then it kind of took away the coolness of it almost, where it was just like all these guys coming in just trying to buy bottles, and then it's like a bunch of losers and it's not even fun anymore. I don't know.
Do you think it's reversible? Because obviously there's you got to make money, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
If I'm a nightclub,
like in Vegas, I get it. Like people are going to do that. But
Also,
in
but
LA, it
people
was
also
different. It
wanna
was
have fun.
smaller. It was different. I don't know.
Yeah, people want to go out and have a good time still, I think, right?
Yes.
I just think that everybody knows in Los Angeles right now that the club is going to close at 2 and the chances of them having a good time are slim to none.
Yeah.
But you can't say nightlife is dead all over the world because, I mean, we could go to Ibiza tomorrow.
which we are.
Yes.
And it's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be unbelievable.
So I think in Los Angeles specifically, like we have lost something. Like the soul has been lost. It's been stripped. And I think it more so happened after the pandemic. Am I wrong?
Yeah, for sure.
Because now there's nothing.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Nothing.
No, it's a lot of reasons. Like LA, I could think of a million reasons. And like I poke fun a little like, oh, it's Paris' fault, but like kind of my fault too, honestly, because I remember when I first came to LA, there wasn't a lot of hip hop parties either. It was like one a week, like Sunday night you could get a good hip hop party, very exclusive. And then I was like, yo, why isn't there more hip hop parties, right? So I started throwing all these big, massive hip hop parties. And the club owners was like, oh, these black people spend all the money. Let's do more and more and more. And the market is just oversaturated with just like, obviously hip hop now is the number one music genre too, right? So it used to be a time where like the Katy Perrys of the world were really competing in a nightclub. Like you could hear that. You could hear, or like we're DJs, we EDM and we're playing, but festivals, yeah, you can go and do that. But now the clubs, they don't really, the average college girl, she want to hear that new Metro Boomin. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a disconnect too with the music and the club life has been sensationalized, and the club owner, they just all greedy now. like she said, you know, it used to be little small boutique clubs,
Yeah.
but they gotta kind of be greedy. Look at the price of real estate now. If I buy a club, what is my rent? $40,000 a month.
Yeah.
What is my liquor cost? What you know? So now it's like I have an urge to just price gouge and make more money. And even now they're taking from the valet. If you valet $100,
Oh my God, the valet hit me with a $300.
Listen,
I was like, what you gonna do? Are you gonna wash my car too?
no.
Damn.
Listen, we gonna
$300.
We ain't even gonna watch it. You know what I'm saying? In fact, you might come out. They might give you the key. They ain't even gonna bring it to you. They gonna be like, here, your car right there. You know what I mean? So it's you know, if you're a man in Hollywood to go out, it's a $500 night no matter what you try to do. And I think that's crazy. But I don't know, Paris. What can we do? Can we get the nightlife back booming in LA? Is it possible?
The only place that's booming is here at Club Paris at my house.
That's for sure.
So much fun.
Definitely. Yeah, you had a party here the other night. That's the only thing you gonna get in Los Angeles. Right
But even with
The
that,
house
man, you know
parties.
the danger, because a lot of that used to be a thing, right? We knew the club closed at 2. Where we going? After party.
Someone's
My house on Kings Road.
We're
back
going
in the day.
to go to Paris house. We were like, you knew, like now, it's like every time somebody have a party, their house get robbed the next day.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing a lot about that.
Yeah, people are like, nobody's robbing this place for sure.
No.
Like, it's top security here. You know, if you were to open a nightclub in LA, what would you call it?
Club Sliv.
I knew it.
What is Club Sliv? What's going on in Club Sliv? Give us what's going on.
People are sliving. No phones allowed.
No phones.
That's always great when you go to a party. Like I love Rihanna does that a lot. And they just, when they put the phones away, it's just like everyone has such a better time because everyone's talking and hanging out. I've done it at a couple parties, but then sometimes people are like, I need my phone.
The problem with no phones is like, if you got kids,
yeah,
you're not taking my phone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if something happened? You know, I think that's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
Right? But what if we did something like that, but there was a phone, emergency phone, like back in the day?
But you can go get your phone, but you just have to go out to go get your phone. You can go and check your phone
it's like
every
a coat
15
check.
minutes.
I think we should just eliminate that whole. So I did a party with Drake and LeBron James in Canada, in Toronto. And they had, you would check your phone, but they put it in his pouch and lock it.
And then they'll open it and you can get it.
But they give it back to you in the pouch
and it's
and
locked.
lock it.
Yeah.
But people
cut them, right?
I was going to say, people was cutting their phones out.
Oh my God.
Bro, like, and I had 2 phones. So they took one, but they didn't take the other one. You know what I'm saying?
That's always my trick too.
Yeah, you get like, oh yeah, you want my phone here, but you still got the important phone.
You just gave everybody the.
I know.
Oh, fuck.
So you got it.
So you got a Metro PCS.
Trap line. Yeah, you kind of got a. I don't know. It's like signal blocker. When I came here, I didn't have no signal, so maybe I don't know, like a signal blocker or something. It has to be. But yeah, I think the phones ruined the party, man.
Yeah, and it's ruining a lot more than that because during a concert, right? I mean, honestly, sometimes it's a little scary.
Really?
Like being on stage and not seeing anybody's face. It just looked like this the whole time. Like, I don't want to be anybody's like parent and be like, put your phones down. But I really want to say, damn, put your phones down for a second. Like, let's enjoy this moment. Yeah. My question is, who are you filming for?
The internet, bro.
Because if you want to, I mean, I get people want to savor savor the memory, you know, and have the memory, but you weren't there either. Yeah. Because you were recording the whole time. You weren't there. So like, I can understand putting it up for a second, put it down, but it's real crazy.
The phone is a gift and a curse, right? Because like if I'm Paris Hilton and I just did Tomorrowland and I killed it, and it's 100,000 people just filmed me and posted it on the internet,
you just seen 1 billion people.
I'm lit, bro. My algorithms is crazy right now, right? So it works out. It's like great, like you started a revolution. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, but then also people aren't really enjoying the moment. They're not
Yeah,
really in
you
the
want people
moment.
to experience
They're just
the
looking
moment.
in the screen the whole time.
I'm guilty.
Speaking of music, you
Yes.
have a new album coming that I'm super excited about.
Thank you.
Tell us about the project.
Well, Sia is the executive producer of the whole
Oh
album.
wow.
Incredible.
She is just so brilliant, like one of my best friends. I love her so much. I'm so grateful to her for believing in me and doing this record. And the album is called Infinite Icon.
Oh, amazing.
You know, and the songs are everything from pop music, dance, ballads, and I'm so proud of this album. It's the first album or second album that I've released, and the last one was like 15 years ago.
Wow, that's incredible. I was on my way home from the airport, and your song, your new song came on, and I was just like, oh, I got so excited because I knew that I was coming here, and then I was waiting for the icon to change so that I could see the name of the song, but the damn thing never changed. What's the name of the new single?
The new single with Sia is called Fame Won't Love You.
Fame Won't Love You.
Do you have not to go to the left, we're gonna get back to the album, but do you feel like you have like a love hate with fame, relationship with fame?
I think there's definitely the good and the bad that comes with it. I think I've been through so much in my life, and the one thing that I love is my fans, or like my little brothers and sisters. I love them so much. I think the hard part about it, especially during like the 2000s, is just the media, you know, could be so cruel at times, especially back then. And that was really difficult to go through. But now things have changed and people have realized just how wrong it is to treat women in certain ways. But I'm so grateful for it. You know, I think there's the good and bad that comes with everything. But I'm so grateful for just everything that I've achieved in life.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, you know, sometimes I see what Jason is going through, and I'm like, I like my level of fame. I'm cool. I'm cool with like the people who know me. You know, I'm like, this is good. Like, I don't have to, you know, and obviously, yeah, I just want to have more money. You know what I'm saying? More than the fame. It's like, just give me the money without the fame. You know, and I start to understand like it's hard being known all over the world. Like, it's tough. Like, you barely have moments on your own. Do you feel like it's always somebody around you, like all the time? You got people, management, this person, Instagram person, like how when do you like just have time to yourself? Do you ever map out that for yourself?
It's a lot because I do so many different types of things, from, you know, music to DJing to art to designing to running my media company to writing books to being an artist to just there's just being an advocate. So there's just so many things happening. So every day there's something happening, and it's kind of like Tetris trying to fit everything into my schedule. So it is very overwhelming. And then being a mom on top of that with 2 kids. So yeah, it gets to be a lot sometimes. So I try sometimes to take the weekends off if I'm not working and just be at home with the kids and my puppies and do art and chill and try to like decompress and get ready for another crazy week.
Where's Paris Hilton's favorite place to go to in the world? Because we just talked about how Los Angeles is. Is there another place that that you just like to go on vacation, or that you can see yourself living in the future?
Oh, you guys were just talking about Ibiza. I love Ibiza. I used to live there every summer for like 7 years because I had my DJ residency at Amnesia for the whole summer, like 3 months of it, which was so much fun. So I love Ibiza. I love London. That's one of my favorite cities in the world. I could totally live there. And my favorite place to just chill and relax is the Waldorf Astoria, Maldives. It is so gorgeous. It's the most stunning property I've ever seen in my life. I just feel so free there, and swimming in the ocean and going surfing and scuba diving. And I love just being in the water and just
Do
relaxing.
you get like a little discount when you go, or they?
Well, since I'm one of the faces of the
Okay.
brand,
Yeah, they say do your
yeah.
thing.
So I'm gonna call
Yeah.
Paris, be like, Paris, I'm trying to go to the Maldives. Can you call somebody for me?
Yes. Yep. So we
Okay.
do.
Amazing.
So with all of this traveling,
Mm-hmm.
with all the mommying, with all the activism too, because I know you've been doing some stuff helping out from your past, your childhood. Really, like you're like a superhero almost when
Thank
it
you.
comes to some of the things you're doing. How do you find time to like film the Simple Life? Because I know it got to come, right? We got to get another
Yeah.
season of it, right?
Yes, Nicole and I start shooting this July.
Wow.
Yes.
Is this out yet?
We
Do the
haven't
people
said.
know?
We announced that we're doing it, but they don't know when it's happening.
So we're gonna get season 6 of the Simple Life. Is there gonna be something different being done, or is it gonna be a similar premise from the first 5 seasons?
No, this will not be Simple Life. This is going to be the Paris and Nicole reunion. So it's all about our friendship, where it all started, and you'll definitely hear about the Simple Life, and you'll feel some vibes. But this is definitely a whole new show.
Like that.
Mm-hmm. I love Nicole. There's no one funnier than her. She's just has the best personality, and I just am really excited to get back together and do this.
And this is also reality, a deep dive into your lives as well. Like we get to see.
Yeah, we just talk about everything, our whole lives.
Is Nicole married?
Yes,
Got children too?
2 kids.
Guys do like little dates with the kids, or
Her kids are teenagers. Mine are only 6 months and 16 months, and hers are like 14 and 16.
oh wow, yeah. I haven't been really keeping up with Nicole. I just know when I see her, she just seems so graceful, so elegant. Like, because obviously we saw the young teenage versions of you guys, and I'm like, she made a turnaround. It's like you like a dad, like. You used to be a wild girl, but you made a turnaround.
She sound like somebody uncle.
Yeah, no, but she looks good every time I see her. Very graceful and just like womanly and motherly.
Yeah,
So
she's beautiful.
I'm interested in seeing what this TV show is and how you guys go from the Simple Life to the new life.
Yeah, it's gonna be hilarious.
So Paris, what's next for you? You've done so much in your life. Like, what do you feel like is next up that you haven't accomplished yet that you really want to tackle?
I'm like, I feel like I've done everything that I could ever imagine and all of
By
my
the way.
dreams.
I feel like you have to.
But I am really excited. My memoir, This is Paris, A24 bought the rights to it, and the Fanning sisters are producing with me, and we're going to be doing a whole TV series on my life story.
Oh, incredible.
So the same people who did Euphoria and White Lotus and Beef and all these incredible TV shows are going to be doing my life story, which is amazing.
That's so cool.
So that's something I'm excited about. My 30th fragrance is about to come out this year, which I'm really proud of. And just writing my 3rd book right now, and about to start shooting a new season of my TV show and doing music documentary, and with the album coming out. So it's just always taking things to the next level.
You documented the whole process of making the album?
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Who can play Paris Hilton? Who's that actress that, if you could pick one, let's say you could pick one, it doesn't matter who, and then we can just make them the age that they need to be to play you through 20 years of your life. Who would that actress be?
Well, I already know who it is, but I can't say. It's a surprise, but she's an incredible actress, and I'm just so excited for her to be, she's the perfect person to do this role.
Oh, I can't wait to see it. And
Yeah.
it's going to be like a series, like,
Yes.
that's going to be fire.
For sure.
That's hot. It's going to be hot.
I'm more of a series guy myself. I like to dive into a series as opposed to the movies, because sometimes the movie is a little too short. Like I want to keep diving into the character. So this is perfect because we get to a real deep dive into your childhood and as well.
Yes. My whole life story.
Wow. That's gonna be amazing. Can you tell us a bit about the philanthropic work that you've been doing with your not for profit?
Yes, my nonprofit is called 1111 Media Impact, and I'm so proud. In the past 3 years, I've helped change 10 state laws, and now I have my bill, which is going through Congress right now, which I'm hoping to pass legislation this year. And we have 100 co-sponsors, and it's bipartisan, and we should find out very soon. But it's just amazing to have turn my pain into a purpose and something that happened to me when I was a little girl, and now to make a difference for so many other children. And this will affect 13 million children, because over 150,000 kids are being sent to these troubled teens facilities and are being abused, and over 350 children have died in these places. And this has been an issue that's been happening for so long, and nothing has really been done about it. So it's just been incredible to have told my story and now to have made such an impact. And I feel like that's my main purpose in life. And
That's beautiful.
yes.
Sincere has started to tell me about what happened to you as a child. Do you mind sharing with us?
Mm-hmm. When I was 16, I moved to New York. And before that, I lived in LA. I lived a very sheltered life. Then I moved to New York, and all of a sudden I started getting invited to all these nightclubs and premieres and events. And I just started sneaking out at night, getting bad grades. So my parents talked to this person called an education consultant, and they basically are these people who get commission on sending children away to these schools. And one night at 4:30 in the morning, these two large guys came in my room and said, "Do you want to go the easy way, the hard way?" And they held up handcuffs and basically just took me from my bed. I thought I was being kidnapped. I had no idea where I was going, and got sent to this place called Sea-Doo, which is now shut down for abuse, and then ran away from there, and then basically got sent to all of these different troubled teen facilities and to wilderness camps. And it was just so traumatizing, just being abused there physically, verbally, emotionally. It was just constant terror every single day. And yeah, it was something that I had nightmares about for over a decade. And then finally with my documentary, I told my story, and now I've been on this whole path of healing ever since. And that's why I started doing my advocacy work, because I wanted to stop that from happening to other children.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's like a long story. I could talk for hours about it. I was trying to give like the short version of it, but it's just so fucked up what happens in these places. And
The wilderness camps as well?
yeah, all of them. They're run by these people, and there's no regulation. There's no background checks on these people. So they have these horrible people who just, want to have that power over children, and they can get away with it because everyone's like, oh, these kids are trouble. They're bad kids. Like, no one's going to believe them. And then they manipulate the families and lie to them and basically say, oh, your kid's going to lie. They're going to say they're being abused. They're going to say they're being hit or starved or whatever they're doing. Don't believe them. They're lying. And a lot of the parents, they're going to listen to the adult. They think that, is there to protect their child. And a lot of people have no idea what's happening in these places. And that's why I wanted to expose this multi-billion-dollar industry. They're making billions of dollars a year on public funds, and they're getting away with abusing children. And it's just not right. That's why it was something that traumatized me so much, where when I got out of there, I just made a promise to myself that I'm not going to tell anyone about this. Like, this is not part of my story. And I'm just going to work so hard and become so successful that no one could ever tell me what to do again. But it was just always inside. Like, I had severe nightmares every single night. And then to find out, the past couple of years, that this had now boomed into such a huge industry, and so many children from the juvenile justice system, children from foster care system, children with disabilities were all being sent to these places and literally being tortured.
Was there ever a confrontation with your parents about what happened when you were a teen?
I wasn't allowed to tell them. So anytime I would try to say something on the phone, the staff would immediately hang up the phone and take away my phone privileges or slap me, hit me. And then I wasn't allowed to speak to my parents. And then if I tried to write a letter, it would get ripped up by the staff members. And then when I got out of there, I was like, I just don't even want to think about this ever again. So I just didn't even tell my parents until a couple of years ago.
And what was that experience when you finally talked to your parents about it? Are they helping with the advocacy? How do they feel about everything that happened at that time?
The first time I ever talked about it with my mom was actually on my documentary on camera, and she was just in shock. Like, she didn't even know what to say.
I saw that. Yeah.
It was the first time that she'd ever heard it, so she was shaking. She was just like, she didn't even know what to say. I think it took me 20 years to process it, so I can't imagine being a parent and hearing that, when you're just sending your child to you think this is this normal boarding school. They have these beautiful brochures with kids smiling and riding horses, and you think you're going to send your kid to like this beautiful place to be healed, and it's just there's such deceptive marketing. So my parents have just been so heartbroken, feel so guilty, so in shock. And now my mom's been coming with me to Washington, D.C.
That's good.
Because the parents and families are just as much victims as the children. Like,
Definitely.
They don't know. Your kid is sneaking out. You're worried. You want to send them somewhere to help. And you're, never would someone imagine that this is happening.
Now, I don't want to get too much into politics, but when you're taking this bill to Congress, who would you say is more conservatives or liberals that are helping you to champion, like getting this legislation through?
It's been amazing, just the response from it, because we didn't know what to expect from people, but everyone who I've told the story just gets very emotional. Then some other people will be like, actually, I was sent to one of these places, or one of my, relatives or someone they knew, but like, this is something that we'd ever talked about. So this has happened to so many people, but they all have kept it in because these places really instill that shame in the kids where they don't even want to tell anyone. And that's, I think, another way that they've gotten away with it for so long, is because people just don't even want to ever even think about it again because they're so traumatized. But yeah, it's been amazing how everyone has been so supportive and positive about this legislation, because this is, children's lives on the line, and this is about, children dying in the name of treatment. So I think that anyone who would have like an opposing thought about it, like, there's something wrong with them.
Well, it's a lot going on in the world, so you can't be too sure with some of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it's good that you're doing the work. And, hopefully, I went through something similar when I was younger. I was kicked out of school and sent to an all-boys school, and they had similar practices where they would do certain things to the kids, and we weren't really allowed to talk about it, and, your parents wouldn't believe you and this sort of thing. Not to the degree of being taken out of my home and sent away, but I sympathize with you. Like I said, I know exactly what you're talking about, and it is tough, and there has to be another way, because, when you're a kid, we all get into a little bit of trouble. We all kind of do certain things that we probably not supposed to do. That we need to find another solution than just sending these kids off to these internment camps, basically, to try to get their behavior to be a certain way.
Yeah, but what's the solution? Because sometimes parents feel like, my kid won't listen to me, and maybe they'll listen to somebody else. Like, what do you think the solution is? Because, I mean, that's also a tough thing for a parent to deal with as well, because you want the best for your child. And sometimes, like, I mean, I have a 3-year-old, so I mean, but sometimes I feel like I'll say something and he just won't want to listen to me. But if like somebody else says it, like, all of a sudden, like he snaps into place. And I feel like parents deal with that kind of thing sometimes. It's like, maybe she'll listen to somebody, maybe he'll listen to somebody else.
So look, I'll say this: after I went through the public school system, and I was sent to these weird schools and these therapeutic day schools, and then I, ended up in high. I was very smart as a kid too, so a lot of us, we be like high intellectually, right? And we got our mind is like ADD, like we just want to do so
Are
much.
Are you ADD too?
Yeah, like I think something wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like
not wrong.
Something's there,
it's
right?
my superpower. So
it's like, yeah, we trying to do so much, and I remember I took an IQ test. I scored super high on an IQ test, and there was this one doctor at one school that was like, well, there's actually nothing wrong with him, right? Like, let's try to usher him out of this. So I kind of got ushered out and transitioned back to regular society, right? But now I just used to get into fights all the time. And by my senior year, I'm like having this crazy fight in school. They had like zero tolerance policies in school. I ended up getting kicked out of school. And I remember sitting down with my mom, and she just looked at me one day and she was like, you know what, school isn't for everybody. She was like, and I think some kids, school just ain't for everybody. Like, school just wasn't for me. And she was right. I go on to become her most successful child. You know what I'm saying? And I figured it out. It took a little bit of time, but I figured some things out. And shortly after that, I left and moved to New York. I couldn't stay in Chicago. And then I left New York and moved to LA. I was ready to explore at 16. You know what I mean? So I think identifying like everybody not going to go through the school system the way that you think they're supposed to. Because that it's not, school is the way they did school is like to prepare you to go work for somebody. I don't work for nobody. She don't work for nobody. Everybody's not gonna go and graduate, go to and go and work for somebody. So I think you proved the theory I have is like, yeah, it wasn't for you. That system wasn't for her. She needed to go and do the things she did, and now look at her now. But most people, if you go back and see some of the most successful entrepreneurs, they got similar stories. They dropped out of school or something. They never quite did the thing the right way. There are some great examples of people who toed the line and did exactly what they were supposed to do, and then they be like, well, I wasn't happy the whole time. No, I wasn't happy. Then you got the people like, no, I did it my way. Like, I'm Paris Hilton. Like, I did it the way I want to do it. And I think for that, you probably have had a more successful and a much better life than you would have had if you just, did exactly what everybody told you to do. But that's just my opinion.
So I know you have a single coming out in a few days.
Yes.
Free, right?
It's called I'm Free.
I'm Free. And have you shot the music video yet?
Yes, we just shot the album cover and the music video a couple days ago. And I'm so excited for the song because it was inspired by this song called Free by Alternate, that when I came out of the schools and I went out one night, it was the first night I actually went out when I got back, and I heard this song playing in the club in New York, and it just became like my anthem in life, just about like being free. So when I was doing this album, I was like, I want to do a song inspired by that, and the song is amazing. It just like reminds me of so much of my life about just like becoming free.
Beautiful. And what's the video about? Where did you shoot the video?
We shot the video here in LA at Smashbox, and it's just like very futuristic, like beauty shots. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Paris did us a solid. Me and Megan Trainor, she was in our videos for Hands on Me, so she made a little.
You gonna be in one of her videos?
Yes.
Oh my God. No, I'm really excited about the whole project. The world has been fiending for this album for a long time. So it's been 15 years since you released your last project. So really excited for you. What was the inspiration behind the whole album? And finally coming back to music.
Infinite Icon is just all about just celebrating my legacy, and I just wanted people to have songs. Like, music has always been something that's been so healing to me and been such like a passion of mine. So I really wanted it to be like a love letter back to all my fans and everyone who's been with me through this amazing journey, and just songs for people to feel iconic and just live their best lives.
Listen, you got to give me the album. I need MP3s, everything. We're gonna be in the Ibiza this week,
Sick.
and I want to play something.
Let's go.
And
love
too,
that.
I want to remix something too.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, let me see what you got. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear what's going on. Pick my favorite one and
send it to
remix
you.
something because we gotta let them know. Listen, we got the exclusive. You know what I'm saying? And we drop it in Ibiza, and where y'all say Ibiza, the world, but that's the proper pronunciation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Every time I say Ibiza in America, they're like, "Where?"
Yeah, they don't know.
Ibiza.
Ibiza, you know. So we gonna be turned up. I'm gonna make sure I'm playing your records as much as I can. And man, I'm excited about the album too.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of you. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
Against all odds, you know what I'm saying? In the man's world, you became the biggest. You know what I mean? And I know you're just getting started. So I'm excited to see what you have in store for us for sure.
Thank you so much. I think you'll love Bad Bitch Academy.
Bad Bitch Academy. I like that.
Yeah. It's
I
awesome.
like that a lot. I might have to send a few through. No.
Well, Paris, thank you so much. We appreciate you having us in your home and spending some time with us. So, people, that was the On the Road podcast with Paris Hilton. That's Sincere Show. I'm Jason Derulo. Until next time.